Alright, what up, folks? It's your man Lou from Loophole Marketers and Make Money Online with Lou.com. Some of you might know me as 100 Days of Summer, some of you might know me as Consciously Lou, but I'm making this video pretty much for every audience that I have because I want to share what I've been doing since like May 2018. So since May 2018, I've literally been traveling the country since that point and living off of passive income. Basically, it's kind of like been a bucket list and a goal of mine to be able to just kind of live on the road and just travel, to not be attached to any lease, as far as a house or any job that keeps me location dependent. I want it to be location independent. And I've been like plotting on doing this for a pretty long time, but just never been able to actually pull the trigger because one of the things that hindered me, and then I'll get more into the trip, Robert Kiyosaki taught me passive income. Tim Ferriss taught me location independence and lifestyle design. And then Mr. Money Mustache taught me a good principle, which is once you understand what it takes to be happy, once you know what you like, things that you like, and a lot of stuff don't even cost no money, but once you figure out what it is that you like in life and what brings you happiness, and then you design your income based around it, like for me, my passive income, so I can fund that lifestyle that I like to do, which is simple stuff, right? Sunrise in the morning, but not have to worry about rushing to work after. Going to the water whenever I feel like it, taking hikes, shit like that, just simple stuff, right? Just being free, that's what brings me happiness. So as long as he showed me that basically once you make enough money to fund that lifestyle on a monthly basis, any dollar above that doesn't bring you any more happiness, and that's true. If it wasn't for him, I'd still be in Philadelphia trying to raise my income as opposed to going out and living off of that income, which is the reason that I created the income in the first place. So that's what I decided to do. I'm real grateful that I came across his lecture and listened to him speak because it really changed me. So I decided I had enough money to actually be able to travel. I was going to travel for 2 months and, hotel it up and whatnot and just travel. I had a couple places I wanted to see, go down the East Coast and head over to the West Coast and come back. And once I met my girlfriend in Miami, basically she introduced me to Airbnbs, and because of Airbnbs, I've been able to live on the road nonstop. So I started in Philadelphia, of course, is where I live. I left out of there and I wanted to go to the Luray Caverns. So Luray Caverns is a place I traveled as a kid with my mom. We went there one time. I thought it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. So I wanted to go back there. The pictures didn't come out too good, but hopefully y'all still get to see some of the things that I experienced there. So after that, I went to go see a friend in South Carolina. I don't think I got any pictures or videos of that, but afterwards I ended up going to an island in South Carolina, and found this like lighthouse by the beach in South Carolina on this island. And man, it was just, the drive through there was just beautiful. It was like that small beach town feel. And it also gave me like a Louisiana bayou feel for some reason. I'm not too familiar with South Carolina and the parts near the islands and the water and whatnot, but beautiful. It was a great experience. I wish I could have stayed there longer, but I ended up having to leave because I had to make my way I was heading to Atlanta first, and then I ended up having to go diverting from Miami there and going to Tampa to meet my friend in Tampa. And she showed me around Tampa, I fell in love with Florida. Tampa was amazing, though. It's water everywhere. Which is one of my favorite things, water everywhere. The diversity of wildlife is crazy. And that's just something that I've always loved as a kid, like playing with bugs, catching animals and shit like that. So being in Florida with all that diversity of wildlife that you can just see on a regular basis, the same way I would see a cat or a dog in the hood or a rat in the hood, in Philadelphia. So it's like the same thing being in Florida where you see lizards instead. It's crazy because I always loved lizards as a kid. Always wanted to catch them motherfuckers. They was too fast to catch, and it just wasn't enough, especially in Philadelphia. But when I lived in Virginia, there was some. But just here was just like a plethora of lizards and fucking iguanas just walking around here. I see them like cats, iguanas, like cats here. So it's just weird. It's just different. So yeah, Tampa, we went to the aquarium and just chilled. The aquarium was dope. Definitely gonna put in some footage of the aquarium. The aquarium was pretty dope. Some beautiful shit that we saw there. And then from Tampa, I went to Miami. And in Miami, that's where I met my now girlfriend, who at the time was my friend. And she just showed me around West Palm, and we went to Miami, Royal Palm, West Palm. Then we went to Miami. The beaches, oh my, just beautiful, beautiful. And I love the fact these beaches have blue water. I'm from upper East Coast where the water is brown. It all looks like fucking lake water, even at the beach. But in Florida, the beach is beautiful. The water is warm. This is some of you, this is nothing. But I'm like, I lived in Philly, man, in the cold, hard bricks and no trees, and everybody got a mean mug on because everybody in survival mentality. You know, before that I lived in Virginia until 13, 14, and it was a little different there, but I was too young to really recognize the contrast. But living in Philadelphia, where, oh my God, we don't even, finding out that we got this park there in Philadelphia that nobody ever even goes to because we just not, the majority of us, not into nature. So just being in Florida, warm water, being able to see schools of fish in the waves at the beach, going through the waves, being able to see just crazy shit there. Just, we was kayaking one time, and we hear this thing, it sound like frying water in a frying pan, and we turn around and it's literally a school of fish jumping out of the water together, jumping out of the water like this. A school of fish doing that, and it sounds like somebody's frying water, which is terrifying because we in a lake and I'm thinking alligators and shit, so it was kind of terrifying. But that kayaking was beautiful. It was beautiful, and that was like in the West Palm area, something like that. So we went from there, and then we went to the Everglades because I saw it on a map as I was going to Florida, and I'm like, oh, the Everglades, that sounds like a place. I've heard about that place so many times. I wonder if that would be interesting. So we ended up going to the Everglades, which was an amazing experience. Saw my first alligator there. That was dope. And it was just beautiful. And changed my first tire. I'm 35 years old, and I changed my first tire in 2018. But from Florida, we went to Atlanta, which is where my girlfriend's from. That's her hometown, so she's from Atlanta. So we went to Atlanta. That didn't go too well. It just, what didn't feel as good as Florida, you know, coming off of a Florida binge, going to somewhere that's landlocked, just doesn't feel the same. And for her, it's her hometown, so it wasn't nothing special. And she got stung by a bee when we went to the nature park, so it just felt kind of shitty. Then we left there, and I took her to Louisiana to go to her stepdad's burial ground because she wasn't able to make the funeral. So she wanted to go and pay her respects, and finally she was able to go. So I took her there. That was a beautiful, touching moment, helping us bond together and things like that. That was dope. And we didn't go to New Orleans, to like Bourbon Street. We didn't do any traditional stuff, but we did buy some alcohol from a Walmart. So yeah, all right. So Louisiana. Then we left Louisiana, and I wanted to go see the Grand Canyon. And her birthday was in like the next 2-3 days. So I said, here's the deal. How about we shoot the Grand Canyon for your birthday? We try to make it to Grand Canyon for your birthday because we could have hung out a little bit longer where we was at. But I'm like, let's go. So we shot across the country, right across through some states. We went through some states, but I can't remember all of them. The one that was the most significant to me, New Mexico. The formations on the side, what are those things called? I don't know. I can't remember what they call, plateaus, something like that. Those things was beautiful. So when we get to the canyon, well, actually we went to Flagstaff. That's where we went to first because I found out we wouldn't be able to just like go straight to the canyon because they closed at a certain time. So we had to find somewhere to stay. So we stayed. It's a goddamn lizard just crawled out of my roof of my car, the hood of my car. All right, so we went through there. And we stayed at Flagstaff, Arizona, which is one of the most friendliest places in America that I've ever experienced. One of the most friendliest places. So we went there. We didn't have no choice herb. We didn't have a choice herb when we went there. So we inquired around, and people told us, they said, just go to one of the med shops around here and sit outside and ask somebody if they would be willing to help you. It's Flagstaff. I'm like, what? And that's what everybody says. No matter what, hey, do you think we'd be able to, hey, it's Flagstaff. Like, everybody here is friendly and willing to help you. Just ask someone. And that's like, wow, I love this place. And these are all white people telling me this. So it feels very friendly. We ended up finding a gentleman to help us. He went away for a few minutes, and we were very nervous that he wasn't going to come back with our choice herb after we've given him our U.S. currency. And he returns with the choice herb and has a whole conversation with us, and he's like, yo, everybody here is cool and it's all love. And I'm like, wow, I love Flagstaff. Not to mention the mountains in the background of every scene that you're in is just beautiful. Just, you know how you got that like town look with the mountains in the background? It looks like a whole like a ski lodge type of look. It was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. and then we left and went to the Grand Canyon.
Go. I always wanted to do that since I seen when The Price is Right.
On our way to the Grand Canyon, going through the forest and stuff, that was dope. That was dope. Not sure I've ever been in any national forest before, so that was dope going to a national forest. And then when we got to the canyon, it's like you're looking, because you think, I don't know what I thought it was going to look like, but I happened to just look over to the side and my breath left my body. Yeah, the Grand Canyon took my breath away. It's like, and then, well, that would be like, I guess it gave me breath, because I was like, yeah, it didn't take my breath away. But so, and I'm looking, I'm like, babe, look. And she looks over, and it's like instant tears in your eyes, because it's one of the most beautiful, breathtaking, breath-giving, inspiring things that you've ever seen. Ever in my life, I feel like, that I've ever seen. It's like I've seen the Grand Canyon on TV, heard it been talked about, but never thought that the experience would be this way. Never in my life did I think that the experience would be this way, and it was fucking amazing. Like, I couldn't look over again, because we would have definitely crashed the car. That's how beautiful, it just sucks you right in. So we couldn't wait to park, get out, walk to that Grand Canyon, and oh my God. I'm re-experiencing the feeling of awe that I had when I saw it. It was just, it makes you feel this fucking big, because I knew the Grand Canyon was big, but I didn't know it was grand. Like, now I understand why they call it the Grand Canyon, because they could have just called it a big-ass canyon, a deep-ass canyon, but that wouldn't have really done it. Grand Canyon, and it's like, yo, nature created this? All right, nature. Like, nature created this? I don't know. It just seems crazy that water could have just, but man, it's fucking amazing. It's amazing. And then you get, like, it's a trail you can walk along the canyon and just get multiple views, and then you can drive around to the different overlooks. It's like, wow, man, it's crazy. It's just, it makes you feel so blessed to be able to just sit there and see this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was amazing, man. It was dope. That's one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life, was to see the Grand Canyon, and I encourage anyone to go and see that. So from the Grand Canyon, we wanted to go to Vegas. I just wanted to see Vegas. Never been to Vegas before. Just wanted to literally just ride up the strip, stay in an expensive hotel. That was it. That, to me, that was the Vegas experience. So when we got there, of course, people trying to sell us the t-shirts, tickets to some shows, and all that type of stuff, give it away. And we still didn't want it, because we're not going. And we went to eat some sushi. That was good. We went there 2 days in a row. Sushi was bomb. We got sick the first day. I feel like we got sick because we went, not really sick, but just didn't feel too good, because I feel like we went from nature to commercial ass, concrete ass, little boxes made of ticky-tacky type, cookie cutter ass, you know what I mean, type shit. Seeing the big ass glowing Trump Tower with the sun. Demonic halo.
How is a halo demonic? You calling the sun demonic?
Lucifer had a halo too, remember?
You're right. Well, time to smoke this weed.
So yeah, we seen that, went down the strip, stayed at the Luxor Hotel, that big ass black pyramid. Had to stay there because I seen it so much. That, to me, that was like the typical ass hotel of Vegas. So that's what we wanted to do. Once we left Vegas, my goal, what I've always wanted to do since I was mid-teen, somewhere around there, what I've always wanted to do, drive up the coast of California, right along the water that you always see in the movies and the TV shows and all that shit, where the people is driving on the highway and then they pan up, and then you can see that they're driving along the coast in California. Had to find out what that road was, which was pretty damn hard, because it's either Route 1 or Route Highway 101, classic Highway 101, some shit like that. One of them is slower, one of them is a lot longer, but I mean, a slower one's a lot faster. So we ended up on the wrong one, I think. We started in San Diego, got an Airbnb in San Diego, nice ass Airbnb in San Diego. And then we left from there, which is like San Diego, we chose that to be the bottom. And so I think that's where that road starts, the road that takes us along the coast starts. So we chose that as the bottom of California, and then we just started there and drove up. Driving through those small towns and shit along the coast was, man, I wanted to live there. She didn't like it at first because she was expecting like Florida, and because it's overcast, it just doesn't look as beautiful as TV. We actually stopped and went to one beach, but like I said, it was overcast, so it didn't seem so beautiful. And this beach was literally covered in pebbles. It was like no sand, it was just pebbles. So we hopped back in the car and kept going, riding up, and we would just stop here and there whenever we saw something beautiful that we want to get a picture or a video of, or if she saw a beach, because she loved the beach. So if she saw a beach that we wanted to stop at, then we go and stop at the beach. chill there for a little bit, then hop back in the car and ride up again. So we made it all the way to LA. And in LA we got another nice Airbnb. The prices for the Airbnbs in LA, you'll be able to stay in a nice, kind of like a mansion-sized house for probably less than $50 a night. And it's not, you don't have the whole house, of course, but it's peaceful. Nobody's bothering you. It's just dope, and you're in a nice neighborhood. And so we left there in LA. Of course, had to go and find that legal choice herb. Had to go and find our choice herb, and then we pulled up in one place, and we're like, oh, it's a smoke shop over there. Let's just go to the smoke shop. Somebody here know. So we go to we see a guy come out the smoke shop. We can't flag him down, but we flagged this other guy. I'm not sure. He's like a West Coast guy. We asked him, like, yo, bro, where's the, you know what I mean? And he's like, and he points over there, and we look over, and it's like, the health shop? You mean? He's like, yeah. It's like, oh, bro, but we not from here. We don't got a card. He's like, you don't need no card. Just state ID. As long as you got a valid state ID. What? God bless that man. And then we parked, we roll up in there, and oh my God, as soon as you go in there, it just hits you in the face. Pow, loud. And then there's a guy behind the counter, you fill out some paperwork, and then he buzzes you in, and then you go through the gates of heaven. It's angels singing in both ears. Normally it's angels singing in both ears, and when you get in there, somebody playing harps, and then it's all this choice herb everywhere. And I mean the prices. Okay. So all my choice herb users, grade A, anywhere else in the world, 20 a gram. If the person got it off the back of a truck, $10 a gram if you're lucky. Or if that's your man, $10 a gram. $5 a gram. $5 a gram for some grade A. So we went there the first time, we got some, it was amazing. We came back again. All right, so Pete, it's my second time at the health stop. I need to see this, man. Just got 5 grams permafrost, 5 grams of sour Maui. It's like 5 and some change, but 5 grams. And a gram of OG. And that shit only cost me $40. This is Los Angeles. I need to make this video because everybody needs to know about this shit. I just got 11 grams of grade A for motherfucking $40 in Los Angeles. That's crazy. It's stupid dumb. Alright, so I'm about to end this video and smoke some of this shit. But before we went back, we got that, we chilled, and then we was like, alright, so we're gonna leave this area. We went to see her friend in Crenshaw, which was dope, because Crenshaw is just like South Philly now, where it's been gentrified. So I'm expecting to go there and see maybe some Bloods and Crips. Maybe some gangsters on the corner, some loud music, some low riders, some shit, some traditional Crenshaw shit. And I ain't see none of that. I saw nice houses. I saw space. People had space. People were smiling. There's white people there. She's like, this ain't Crenshaw? And she's like, yeah, they gentrified it. I'm like, wow, it's happening across the entire country. Once we wrapped up in LA, Crenshaw, whatnot, that's when we went to Sequoia. Those trees are the biggest trees I've ever seen in my life. Beautiful, beautiful. Those trees, just as awe-inspiring as the Grand Canyon was. Just take your breath away. Just when you compare yourself to them, it's like, holy shit. Sequoia was amazing, yo. It was amazing. It was definitely worth it. Definitely. We went there 2 times. We went there back to back. And then we had to stop one time because they were doing construction on the road. So we had like a 20-minute wait in between times. So we stopped in between this construction. And while we're there, a cloud is literally engulfing the side of the mountain that we're on. And there's lightning and thundering inside this cloud. And we're like right there in it. That was like crazy.
In a cloud, in a storm. I think your window should be down. Wait, please. Like, it's too late. It's too late.
So from there, from Sequoia, we went to another smoke shop that was a little more commercial than the first smoke shop we went to, the first choice cannabis shop that we went to. And we had, you'll see the unboxing, we unboxed it and
Tush. Gang, gang. What's the
LA
pipe?
Kush. First, you gotta unbox it before you try to smoke.
No, but I
And you
always...
don't want the LGBTQ community coming after us.
Man, they know what I mean. But I always look like that every time we like...
Yeah, something like that. Take the seal. Oh, that shit smells good as fuck. Why you take the seal at the top? The stick at the top.
Cause it's not a hat. You can take it off.
Oh my god.
Here, we'll put it on the box.
Oh my god. It's orgasmic smells. The scene shit.
Y'all can't see. We freaks.
Alright. That was the unboxing of Los Angeles Kush. Before we went to Yosemite, we drove to an Airbnb because that's what I like to do. I don't like to go straight to the parks. I want to chill for a minute, regroup, and then in the morning go there so we can have as much time as possible because we learned that lesson early on. So we stopped at this Airbnb in California, and oh my god, like the view. I'm gonna show you the view. We got to eat breakfast on her patio, and that was nice, very peaceful and all that. And then we headed out to Yosemite, the best place in America. When we got there, didn't really know what to expect. We just parked somewhere and just kind of like just visited. That's the best way I could put it, because I can't really, at this point, I don't really remember what we did when we first got to Yosemite. But we had like a lot of, we took a lot of hikes because there's different, there's different like points that you can see, and you hike to those points. So different points on the mountains, different points of view. And that's where we saw our first bear, a black bear out in the wild. And I mean, the food there is heavily overpriced, but we did eat with beautiful, like we eat in the car all the time with beautiful scenery in front of us all the time. And that's the goal. If we're going to eat in the car, we try to find somewhere to park where there's water or something like that. The scenery in Yosemite, next to none. Nigga went platinum on X videos now, living the life out here. No.
Living his best life. Look at that.
All the basics. You said them cheesy potatoes was hitting? Let me see.
Hitting. Watch it. Watch it hit. Watch it hit. Watch it. Bow. Ah.
Oh. It's definitely hitting.
You are dumb. Them naps in the back end too, goddamn.
Oh. First of all, where's the syrup? It all got sopped up?
No, well, I didn't think you wanted that much. I put a lot on my side. And I was like, how much did you want? And then, because you're a healthy nigga, so I know you don't like a lot of syrup.
That's crazy.
But
so I basically just got chicken waffle sandwich. And we wanted to try our best to like try to sleep in the car there. But everywhere I looked, it said that was illegal and you couldn't do that. You could sleep in the car in a national forest on the side of the road, but not in a national park. So we got to the outskirts of the park, and I'm fast forwarding because we did a lot of beautiful shit that we saw, all of that. I'm gonna put that in the video. But to me, one of the most, the best part about it to me, we got to sleep in the car, not in the park, but right on the outskirts of the park. There's like a line of cars that's lined up here, and I literally looked online to see if anyone else had done this, because I didn't want to take any chances of being locked up or getting fined. And people literally pointed out that exact same part of the park. This was after the fact when I looked it up again. Someone else literally was like, you can't sleep in the park, but there's a park right outside the park where all these cars line up. That's where I was at. You know what I mean? And we slept there, and it was pitch black on all sides of us. And when you look in the sky, you see the moon and the most stars I've ever seen in my life. Like, so many stars to the point where there was more. I couldn't find the constellations, like the shit that we normally see in the hood or in the cities, where it's like, oh, that's the Big Dipper, oh, that's Orion's Belt. Couldn't see none of that shit there. It was that many stars, and it was no light pollution except the moon, which it's not really light pollution, but there was no light pollution. It was just, you would see this dark cutout of the mountain against the sky that's lit up by stars and the moon. It was the most amazing thing ever, and it was so fucking quiet. That sleep was amazing. And then to wake up like, oh shit, we made it. No tickets, no park rangers, no bears trying to rip the door open and get these bananas that we shouldn't have brought in here and all that type of shit. None of that. Like, it was amazing. We woke up the most refreshed ever, and went back to parking, going back to, you know, going hiking and shit like that. It was amazing. It was the best thing ever, like being able to ground my feet at Yosemite. Yeah, I just woke up at Yosemite Park. Now I'm about to ground with my feet. She changed her mind. She was going to ground with me. I was going to take my feet out, put it on the soil here, or in the earth here. Oh, it is cold as shit. Feet crusty, crustaceans. That was like, it was a blessing. It was a blessing, man. It was a blessing. This is how I've been living since May. Literally just traveling here, traveling there, traveling here, traveling there, staying in Airbnbs. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to the water. Let's do whatever. And that's what we've been doing. And I'm teaching her internet marketing the whole time too. So she's learning how to do her shit. She's finally getting to the point where her keywords is getting good. And she's uploading content that's getting traffic. And she's getting clicks on her links now. So she should be making her first sale very soon. So that's exciting too. You know what I mean? I'm teaching her how to make passive income so she can live like I live. So our goal was to get back to Atlanta. So we went from there, and then we just drove back across the country. And as we're coming back across the country to Atlanta, because we needed to make it there by a wedding, by her cousin's wedding, which was beautiful.
Human beings. We do not throw up gang signs. We don't smoke marijuana. We have become my parents.
So we did the wedding in Atlanta. I met everyone. They accepted me. We had fun. Had a great time. Really had a great time, man. It was lovely, 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 lovely. Beautiful people. You know, everybody was just smiling. It was love. And from there to Philadelphia. We went to the art museum in Philly because she loves art. She loves museums and art and stuff. I've never even been there, and that's my hometown. The most I've done is ran up the Rocky Steps, but we actually went inside that motherfucker this time, and I got to see some shit, and it was dope. It was beautiful. It's beautiful, man. And I got so much footage from that. I'm gonna put them pictures and videos in here. That was a great experience, man. It was a great experience. So, like I said, we hit Philly, went through Philly. And I just show her all the places that I like to hang out, like Wissahickon Park. That's a place that I never knew existed in Philadelphia. It's like in the middle of Philly, or in the outskirts of Philly. It's this big ass park that when you're there, you feel like you're in a whole different state. You're not in Philadelphia. You don't feel like you're in Philadelphia, or, well, I guess you feel like you're in Pennsylvania, but it just doesn't feel like you're in Philly. So let me say a whole different city. It feels like a whole different city, because Pennsylvania does have a lot of beautiful nature in it. But this one little place is just like, wow, this is the last remnants of nature in Philadelphia. That's what it feels like. The last remnants of non-touch, non-commercial nature. And so I took her there, took her to Kelly Drive, one of my other favorite places I love to be. And then, so yeah, we got to see all that parts of Philly. She done had a Philly cheesesteak, the pretzels, all that stuff, all the good stuff from Philly. Then we went from Philly to, if I'm not mistaken, we went to Virginia. And this is where I discovered that you can live on the beach. You can live on the beach in the winter and fall time for cheap, for around the same price as an Airbnb. You can find a nice ocean front with a balcony facing the ocean, with a door. You can literally facing the ocean, hearing the crashing of the waves for like $50 a night. And we did that. And I never recognized the power of the sound of the ocean. It's literally changed my life. I don't feel comfortable anywhere else now. I don't want to be landlocked. I want to live on the beach for the rest of my life. Being woken up to the sound of waves crashing and then falling back to sleep to the sound of waves crashing, it makes you feel, I just felt blessed and privileged every single time. the beauty is, like, I love the hours of 3 o'clock to like 5, 6 o'clock a.m. because I feel like that's just my time. It ain't a lot of people awoke. You know, those are the times that people, it's like going to the movies on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock. No one's going to be there. That is my type of shit. So being on the beach in the fall and winter, I'm doing that every year now. And then Miami, you can't stay on the beach for cheap. That's just out of the question. But we did do a real expensive high rise Airbnb, just to have that experience, the Miami condo life, and just to see what that was like. And that was amazing. That was dope. It's like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to live in a condo by the beach. This is the life. So that kind of catches us up to where we're current now, and I can start doing like a daily vlog for you guys, you know what I mean? And try to like just show you guys how I'm living, because I'm like, man, this has to be more inspiring than me talking to y'all about keyword research, or this video that I got to the first page, or even more inspiring than seeing me make money. I'm gonna make these daily, or try to make these like once a week, weekly. I try to make them weekly, and that way I can patch in all the shit that I've done that week, the food, the places I've been to, and maybe I'll patch in some of the money that I made. Maybe. And that way people will be able to see it and, you know, be inspired by that on a weekly basis. And y'all can grow with me, as you've already been. And let me say this too. This is how I want you to measure things, right? If you can see, if you can hear, if you can walk, to me, these are the things. If you can see, if you can hear, if you can walk, and if you can talk, because communication is fucking key. So 4 things. Let me skip. See, hear, walk, talk. If you can't do 1 or 2 of those things, let's just look at the other things, all right? How much would you trade for your eyesight? Like money. How much money would it take? If somebody came to you with a dollar amount, how much would it take for you to be like, okay, you can have my eyesight for that amount? How much would you trade for your ability to walk? How much would somebody pay you? How much could somebody pay you for your ability to walk? How much, what's that dollar amount? Hey, I give you this amount, but you can never walk again. And you say yes or no. What's that dollar amount? How much would you pay for your ability to talk? How much would you pay, or how much would you be willing to be paid for your ability to talk to go away, or your ability to see to go away, your ability to hear or walk to go away? Whatever that dollar amount is, shit, it's priceless for me. I'm not giving my shit away for nothing. That's how I experience all this beauty. But for somebody who's like, man, shit, you can have my eyes for $3 billion. Guess what? That means that your vision, your ability to see, is worth $3 billion. $3 billion. Oh man, then you can have my vision for $20 billion. That means your ability to see is worth $20 billion. You might not have it in cash, but cash ain't shit. Your vision. Because if you lost it, how much would you trade to get it back? That's how much it's worth. Your ability to see, hear, talk, walk, taste, touch. How much would you trade to get it back if you ever lost it? That's how much it's currently worth. That's how valuable you are. You need to start seeing it that way. And once you see it that way, everything around you is going to change. You got to love where you at first before you can start to go to these other places. What people didn't see was me living in a place, an apartment on 60th and Girard that was in Philadelphia. I paid $250 for one room, $250 a month for one room that had a hole in the ceiling, raccoons and squirrels running through, rats on the floor, rat poop in the kitchen. It was fucked up. The bathroom was crazy. Like bringing women into the apartment, they were super uncomfortable, but I was using that the same way I use my hair, you know, being carefree and accepting and loving what is. Because I realized before that, all the things, any place that you are right now, I guarantee you there's something to appreciate about it. And when you go to the next place, you're going to look back and be like, damn, that place wasn't so bad. I miss it now that I'm in this. In that $250 room, with mold in the ceiling, raccoons running through every night, fighting and shit, a hole in the ceiling because the ceiling caved in the first week that I was there from the rain. Also, in the fall, springtime, there was an amazing smell of honeysuckles that came from the backyard that would just pervade my room. I'd wake up to that shit and be like, this is worth it. And I knew one day I'd go somewhere else and I'd look back at that moment and be like, that place wasn't so bad. there's things I can appreciate about that in hindsight. But when you're in it, you fail to appreciate things because you're so busy either living in the past or trying to get to the future. You got to love where you're at now, and trust me, wherever you go from that point, you'll be able to bear that shit. But if you hate where you're at now, trying to get to a new place, I can't speak for whether you hate where you're at or whether you dislike yourself or disapprove of yourself. So once you love where you're at, that's usually synonymous with loving and accepting yourself. The fastest journey, the quickest way to get to enlightenment is to sit down and just be enlightened. That's the quickest way. All right, so it's the same thing. If you're trying to escape your situation because you hate it, you need to learn to find the things in that situation that you appreciate, and you'll then find the energy to get to your next place. And then you won't have to take that hatred with you. You won't have to take the mentality that only looks for what you don't like with you. Because no matter where you're at, it's going to be shit you like and don't like. You need to learn how to be somewhere. You need to learn how to be somewhere where you need to know how to be the person who can focus on what they do like. Be delusional in that sense, because either way you're delusional. You know what I'm saying? Either way you're delusional. They did an experiment where they showed 50 death scenes, 50 funeral scenes, and 50 wedding scenes, 50-50, 50 funeral, 50 wedding scenes to people. People who had a positive outlook on life, a general positive outlook, who believed that life is trying to help them, they reported that there were way more wedding scenes than funeral scenes. People who had a negative outlook on life, who thinks that life is more so trying to get them and that they got to be cautious and aware, those people saw more funeral scenes. They reported that there were way more funeral scenes. The truth is, both are wrong. Both are wrong. It's 50-50. That's balance. That's true happiness. But that's kind of hard to tell people. So instead, you have to learn how to be self-delusional. It's gonna be 50-50 as far as the pictures. 50 this, 50 that. But which way will you dilute yourself? Will you dilute yourself that the world is bad, or will you dilute yourself that the world is good? Because either way, you're wrong. But if you're going to be delusional, it's better to feel good in your delusion as opposed to feel bad and then experience bad. It'd be better to feel good and experience bad, but give it a good outcome. You know, a good perspective, a good story attached to it so that it still makes you feel good. These are the choices. So you love where you're at now, because either way, you're delusional. Where you're going next, it's not going to be all good. You know what I mean? But you might feel like it is at first until that shit wears off, and then the other part kicks in, and then you'll see all the badness, just like in relationships. So just love where you're at now. Become accustomed to loving what is good and what is bad, all at the same time. That's balance. And then no matter where you go, you'll be a person of appreciation. You'll be able to appreciate whatever circumstances you're into. You know what I mean? That's what I had to do, and that's what I tell her all the time too. So I thank you folks for watching this. Hopefully it motivates and encourages you, and I'll see you guys in the next video, in my first vlog, I guess. Oh, one last thing. I've been doing this so long that I forget that people sometimes want to know, hey, how do you afford to live this life? Like, I forget that. And then I'm supposed to do a sales thing at the end, because this is how I'm living now. So folks, if you want to know, I got free information on my website, loopholemarketers.com. I'll put that here, loopholemarketers.com. That's where everybody starts. I start everyone there because it's free. You're just putting your name and email address, and you literally get videos sent to your inbox that show you what to do. I'm sorry, my voice is going. You get sent to your inbox that literally just show you on video what to do. It's where I'm showing one of my previous girlfriends how to do the same thing. And I'm literally walking her through the steps on your screen. So you literally see what's on her screen as we're doing it. And you get to hear us having conversations while you're watching the screen. So that shit is helpful. And you just follow the steps. If you just follow the steps, you get similar results. And yes, some of it is a bit dated, but it still works. That's why I haven't changed anything. So just follow the steps and you'll see. And then we also have paid options, and you can work with me personally and shit like that after the fact. But first, get educated for the free stuff so that you can have some type of barometer on what you're doing. I think that's it, folks. Passive income that exceeds your monthly expenses equals financial freedom, financial independence. Thank you, Robert Kiyosaki, Tim Ferriss, Mr. Money Mustache, Brian Tracy, the list goes on. Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, Byron Katie, and I think that's about it. Those are like my OG mentors. Tim Ferriss, if I didn't say Tim Ferriss. And these are like my OG mentors. I literally take the shit that they tell me and put it into practice and see results. That's why I love them to this day. And whenever I meet them, I'm taking them to dinner. Any and every one of them. Oh, Bruce Lipton, Tom Campbell, goddamn, the list goes on and on. These are my OGs. I spend time with geniuses, millionaires, and billionaires, and I do it all through the power of the internet. And that's where I get my principles and shit. You are the sum of your closest 5 friends. Keep that in mind. You can hang with billionaires and millionaires online all day. Keep that in mind. All right, that's where I'm going to wrap it up at. Thank you, folks, and I'll see you in the next one.